German Shepherds. Let's have a chat about German Shepherds, something I know quite a bit about. None of these dogs are mine. They're all with us for our Bald and Trained dog training. So we'll introduce you to all of the dogs and tell you a little bit about them all. We'll also get an opportunity to talk about reactivity and aggression, which is quite common in this type of dog. So by chance, we've got 3 German Shepherd projects on the go at the moment. So I'm going to get them all over, introduce them all. None of these dogs are mine, obviously. So we got this one here. Right, so the one at the back, he's an East European bloodline German Shepherd puppy. He's about 4.5 months old now. Yes. Come from like French ring sport. He's a serious dog. This one is like a run-of-the-mill German Shepherd. That's a bit rude, but she is. And she's come to us because she was reactive, borderline aggressive. We'll maybe show you some other film of her at one point, and you'll see she certainly look quite terrifying to a non-dog person, a non-working dog person. A working dog person would just walk straight through her. You better make an accurate call on that. They found the wrong trainer when they needed the help earlier on. So the initial reactivity, sit. It's just the manifestation of normal German Shepherd temperament. German Shepherds should be naturally alert and suspicious. And that's what makes them a watchdog. It isn't fear. So as that starts to come out, if that is not required, you need to do some work to guide that somewhere else. Get rid of it, because it's not going to be useful to you. And if you allow it to harden off, it will become extremely problematic, as it was for this dog's own. This one, he's got the capacity to be a full-on working dog or sport dog. Absolutely, without any question of a doubt, he is going to fulfill the owner's requirements to, down to a T. But what we need to do with him is to get into a nice steady state frame of mind so you can have him out and about. He doesn't need to be seeing danger on every corner and like looking to bite at the drop of a hat, because the most effective guard dog, watchdog, is the one that you can have out and about, loose off a lead, and it can be perfectly okay with everybody until you need it to not be okay. And there's a very fine balance with that kind of training, so that you don't end up one way or the other. Because if you end up with one of these and they're like really like mad for it, you'll end up in the situation where a lot of the time the dog's bloody locked up, because you can't afford to have them out all the time in case there's an accident. That is a useless guard dog for a personal protection dog for anybody. Being able to have them out on a lead, that's not realistic. So if you only can have your super trained protection dog out and it's on the end of a lead, that isn't going to always be the case. You need your dog out and about, living with you as a normal, regular dog most of the time. Otherwise it becomes problematic. So that's 2 different outcomes. So this one had the natural alertness and suspicious nature, and it had gone the wrong way. This one's a puppy, a baby, very receptive to training, but at the drop of the hat will become quite aggressive. So we're looking at reducing that just slightly at the moment. Yes. The other one, she's clever. This one, it's a British bred German Shepherd, lovely quality, a puppy, just a few weeks younger than this one. But look at the size difference. Puddy, 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 Hoodie. So she's clever. She's decided, I'm going to go and sit back in the shade over there. So she's very nice. Look at the size difference. There's very little age-wise between these two, between this one and this one. She's also alert, but she's not as suspicious by nature. And that will suit the owner of that one, because they just wanted a good quality pet dog. They didn't want any super duper dog, because she'll bark if somebody comes snooping around that shouldn't be there, and that's good. That's all they need, and they'll have a very good dog with that one. It'll be a much easier project than this one. So when you're buying your puppy, your German Shepherd puppy, try and sort of think and buy the right one for you, because for a lot of people, one of these is going to be too much dog. One of these could turn into one of these if it's just a little bit more suspicious and alert.
Right, so you see, suspicious and alert. Stay tuned.
Sit. So we've been working with this one since literally she was 8 weeks old, so that makes a lot of difference. This one we're working with, it's 4 years old and already gone like proper pear-shaped, although she's getting much better now. I have to watch, no, see that? I have to watch my hands, nope, hands with that one, because it's greedy and aggressively taking the food. That one's doing it gently, but we've kind of programmed that one right from the very beginning. And then the East European one, I'll try and shift those two. The East European one, the proper out and out working one. That's a good sit. That's a good indicator. So that one's male, but only literally 2 weeks older than this one. And this is a 4-year-old German Shepherd. So this is like a, you know, this isn't as good a quality possibly as either of these other puppies. Hope the owner's not looking, but it's a fact. And she'd gone the wrong way and been trained by somebody that they'd actually nurtured this negative behaviour in this. So all of these dogs have got the genetic German Shepherd suspicious, alert genetic nature. It's not fear. It's just that's what makes them a watchdog. That has been bred into them for centuries to be like that. That's what makes them useful as a working dog. Because if you've got a dog that isn't suspicious and alert, then it's going to let any bugger just stroll in, isn't it? So that's what it's at. So you can see I've been chatting for a minute or so now. They're all waiting nice and patiently. I'm going to give them a big reward event and let them all go just with the word yes, yes, yes. Whereas this one, again, so we've been working with her since she was 8 weeks. So this one's really tuned in. When I say working with her since she was 8 weeks, she's had 3 or 4 lessons. And this is the first time she's been to stay. So she stayed for a week and she's had 3 or 4 lessons. So if any of you out there have got a nice puppy and you want it to end up like this, get your arse down here quick. Get it right from the word go. Once you get a dog going the wrong way, we can always make dogs better, but we can never give owners the dog they could have had if they'd have been working with us properly from the very, very beginning. No, let go. Sit. 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 Yes. But he's catching up. He's had more residential, but he come to us and he was already very, very sharp. He has a lot of natural aggression in him, this one. This one is less so. So, you know, if you are out for buying a German Shepherd puppy, this one, you'd maybe not need one quite as strong as this one. you might be better off with one just a little bit less stronger. What do you need a military dog, military grade canine? Not everybody does. Until you've passed it that way, she didn't have a lot of interest in it. Right, so you see how you're holding that lead now? No, right, like that, and you've got the grip over it. I want you to just hold it that way. Right. So that's very intense. You're not going to wind it in. Is she normally good with food?
Loves food.
Yeah. So no input from you apart. You've changed your grip. Pardon? Put it over your wrist.
Yeah.
And then hold it like that. If you've got the lead like that, I know you're not going to accidentally let go of the lead. I know how long the lead is, and then I can do what I need to do, because I'm looking to see whether I can break that.
Right, well that wasn't hard, was it?
So it's really important that there's no input from either of you. So I've stopped asking questions now. It's between me and your dog, right? You're just the land anchor at the moment, and I don't need any more descriptions because I can see what I've got in front of me. What I'm looking for is potential. I may, but no, I'm not worried. I was going to say, it's like, if you just stand like there and try and stand somewhere where you've got both me and your husband and the dog all in the frame, right? Where did you get her from?
An army barracks. So
Did you get paperwork with her?
Yes.
Kennel Club paperwork?
Oh no.
No. And did they have the parents there?
The mum.
And what was mum like? Did you see puppies and mum at the same time?
Yeah.
Physically all in the same space? So the mum was happy for you to be handling and looking at her puppies?
The mum was...
The mum was in a cage, the puppies were next to the cage.
Right, so the mum wasn't free loose and you were handling the puppies?
Yeah.
Was mum free?
No, mum was in a cage.
Mum was caged, so she was in a controlled...
Yeah.
Right, so what I'm trying to get at is just get a feel for what the genetic potential is of this dog. Right, you can move there, let her have that piece. So you're not moving now though.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, I want to say about nips.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Funnily enough, I've been with dogs for a long time. Sit. Right, so does she, apart from your dog, does she have any other dog friends?
No.
Nothing. Has she ever had any?
Sorry, yes. So when we go on holiday, we put her with a trainer we've had with our other dog, and she's got 3 other dogs.
So is this the one that had the facilities that's no longer got the facilities?
She didn't own it, she was one of the ones that worked there.
Yeah,
Right.
She trained Bear.
And that trainer, right? Because it doesn't matter. We don't need to say who it was. It doesn't matter, because there's no right and wrong trainers. There's just loads of different ways of training dogs. Were they training protection type dogs?
No.
They weren't.
No.
So the place you sent your other one to wasn't a protection training facility.
Normal dog training. They had puppies that they trained the puppies that then they sold trained puppies to people, but they also trained.
But what were the breeds?
I don't know the breeds of those. No, Labradors and
Right.
that.
Oh, okay.
Like Royal Spaniels, things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
They were
Yeah.
trying to train they were trying to raise well-trained pet dogs, but
Yeah.
they said that they finally realised that people were better at untraining their dogs than they were at training them, so they started moving into training dogs as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, most people just wing it with dogs. They don't actually train. Right. So I'm not going to put a dog in front underneath your nose if you've told me she's not necessarily going to be good with dogs. I can see how she is with me. That's enough.
I can walk past dogs on a street with her.
Yeah. Do you
Maybe-
take her to the park?
Yes.
Does she come off lead in the park? Well, you do your stuff with.
When other dogs are around.
I bring her back when there's other dogs around. I don't.
So even though you've got this ball, if you were in a park and there was other people and their dogs around, you would not have this dog off lead.
It depends how far away. So if they were closer than that one over there, I would then put her on.
Right.
Because I don't know how the other dogs react to German Shepherds.
Right. So she's never gotten the opportunity to bite anyone, yet a moment ago you were starting to tell me about nipping.
Oh no, when you feed her,
she comes in heavy for the food.
That's what I mean. Just
right.
Does that rather than.
She likes a good dose of finger with her food.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why you feed dogs like that, like ponies.
Yeah.
Because if you feed like a pony, they don't get your finger. Right, so she's good, she's engaged for the food. So what I'm going to get you to do then, you can come back and pass me my camera.
No, leave it. Sit. Sit. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it.
He never showed any of this, did he? He used to send us videos and everything with him playing with his other dogs.
As
well. She had him off lead as well.
Yeah, what that might be showing us is that he's enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And now you're frustrating him. Yeah. So frustration is one of the biggest drivers you use to.
Dog, they just play fight non-stop, relentlessly.
Yeah.
They're not aggressive to each other.
No.
They're just rolling over, and he was doing that this morning in front.
So you're winding that lead in. I want you to do the opposite. Go to the full length. Let me have a look at what it's like. How's the end of that lead? Right. I'm going to get you to just drop it. Just drop it. Once we get the fella to drop the lead, the dog's perfectly fine. But stay in that state for too many years and then it's not quite as easy. So if you were in a park and you were close to a dog, she's likely to do. Yeah, well just try now.
I tend to do this. Let the dog pass.
She's not paying attention to the other dog.
Yeah.
It's avoidance rather than dealing with it.
Yeah, but also because it's a rewarding experience and there's been no interruption between the behaviour and you doing that, you are rewarding the whole cycle of behaviour.
I recognise what we're doing.
You don't know what else to do.
At the end of the day, we need to keep everybody else as safe.
Yeah, of course you do. So you're not irresponsible. It's just that,
We're not solving the
you just need to be aware that like what you're doing would be good if you created some kind of break between the previous behaviour and that, because now you're doing something different and you've given her some feedback that we don't want you to do that. Right, so this is what the other part of the assessment looks like, where I'm going to start trying to handle their dog. Sometimes I'd put the stooge dog away. So this is just going up a slightly different level with Maverick, because I'm going to handle the dog, and this dog's, as you can see, very unstable at the moment. And we have to be careful when the dog's in that in that unstable state of mind, because they're more potentially a little bit more dangerous. At the moment, the owners are still still visible. So I'm waiting for them to actually get in their car, so she can't see them anymore, and some of that should diminish. So this is kind of like that dog daddy moment, but he doesn't do it this way. He does it with all this circus trick, where you remove the owners from the equation, and you frequently are left with a lesser dog, a dog that is not got the power that it's getting fed by the owners, like generally like unintended. Down, no, down, 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 down. So I step into the fence. We've already spent a moment getting to know this dog while the owners were there. So I'm going to see if she'll take a bit of food. So she's taking a bit of food. That's good, because a dog that is stressed totally out of its brain wouldn't take food. So that tells me I'm okay to remove this from the anchor point. So you can see Maverick still stayed there on the deck. So I'm not trying to control this dog. This isn't my dog. 40 minutes ago we'd never even met each other. That's my dog. But 5 months ago, we'd never met each other either. He's now my new stooge dog. He's doing brilliant.
It's 30 degrees this afternoon, so way too hot for training. But as I'm finishing this film, have a look at this bit of additional footage of me training the East European puppy. So that single pip, granted he was just snuffling around on those crumbs, but did you saw how quick I pipped? How long did it take him to react to that?
Instantly, really, yeah.
So that single pip we use to get his attention, but we can also do that. So I haven't asked him to sit, he's come up and he's offered that of his own accord. So we can do that as well. We can mark good behaviour and good choices, because that single pip is like a very positive noise for him. It means something good, he's either done something good or something good is going to happen. So it just flips between the two at the early stages. Eventually, if you develop a dog's training, you can manipulate that single pip into a slightly longer one, and it becomes like a proper full-on stop whistle. But that's for the future. He didn't search long enough for that, but it doesn't matter. The series of pips are what fetches the dog back to you. So he's intelligent, because he's remembered I haven't found that piece. So he's gone back up there. It's just not gone far enough to our left. I think he found it there. So he might come up now. And he's standing off, so that's quite respectful, because you probably experienced it already. I mean, he does like to mug you. And you don't really want that. So if every time he sits, if every time he comes up, as far as you possibly can, get him to come up and sit. You don't want to put yourself into a situation where he's coming up and you're having to tell him no all the time.
Yeah.
So I've crumbled up one of those freeze dried, and now there was energy there in that dog, although it was sat. And we've worked at lowering that energy. So he's come up, he sat, and he was relatively calm, but underlying that, he was still like raring to go.
Yeah.
So if you've got a dog that's raring to go, you need to redirect that energy somewhere else after the sit. Because
Yes.
if you reward him out of your hand all the time, it might seem like a good idea, but that energy's transferring onto you, and you're going to find that a lot of dogs will now, they'll sit, they'll take the reward, and now they're jumping.
Yeah.
So always down there as far as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because that's reinforcing it in a very subtle way. It's
Yes.
not like obvious to the dog, but we're manipulating that and shaping that behaviour into something useful. I'm going to show you this. This is what we do when we want the dog to lay down. So I've got a couple of pieces in my hand. If I do this and sink his head and start to do a metaphorical push that way with the food, he'll drop into that down position. That's the down position we really want to achieve, because that's the relaxed down. We haven't done the other one, but I'll just experiment, see whether he'll do it. There you go. Sit. There, I will let him have that piece out of my hand. I'm going to see if I can get to. Right, so that he's done that. We haven't done that with him the whole entire time. So it's how clever this dog is. So he's done that with no.
We used to do that with him actually,
Right.
but
the only problem with that down is that one is natural dog behaviour. That's the one they do just before they're going to pounce on something. So if you want him to learn to lay down and switch off, you need to start getting that one. So he's sort of reverted back slightly to the other one already.
yeah.
We want the dog to become very handy, and you can do this in association with using the food. Sit. I'm going to send him away. So despite what I've just said about like you don't want to be doing too much out of your hand, occasionally you do, because you want him to learn to follow your hands, both hands, but a lot of the control initially will come from the left hand. Because he's following my hand, without putting him on the lead, I can do this. So he's not a fully trained dog, so what we're not doing at this stage, and you shouldn't be doing, we've started to add the word occasionally. Try to not use that word heel at the moment until it's more consistent. As I stop, if I do this, bring that over his head, he'll go into the sit. So I can reward out of my hand, or I can add value to that reward by going, yes, send him away.